السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ازيكم عاملين ايه؟ معاكم ميس نانيس، وهنبدأ النهاردة our first lesson in science for grade 8 تانية إعدادي. اوكي؟ طيب. Look around you. أنا عايزاكم كده تبصوا حواليكم. Look around you and can you name for me three things around you؟ مجرد 3 حاجات. ادوني كده أسامي 3 حاجات من حوالي. ممكن نقول ايه؟ مثلا I have a pen, a tab. What else? Anything else? A bag. Okay, yes, a bag. So, what's common between these 3 things? Think what's the common between them? Yes, all of them occupies space and have mass. So, here they have mass and occupy space. So I can name them all matter. Okay. So this is the definition of the matter. The matter is everything that have mass and occupies space. Have mass and occupies space. Okay, so matter is everything that has mass and occupies space. طيب. Is the matter have types or have states? Yes, of course, it has. The matter has 3 states. ليها 3 أشكال. يا ترى إيه هي الأشكال بتاعت الماتر دي؟ The matter had 3 states. Okay, they are solids, okay, liquids, and gases. Okay, so these are the 3 states of the matter. Solids like a books, like the mobile, like a pen. Liquids like water, like juice. And gases like oxygen, okay, like air, hydrogen. These are all gases. Okay, let's first talk about solids, okay? Here is our lesson for today in our book, The States of Matter. And we said that matter, it is everything that has mass and occupies space. Don't forget this definition. It's very important. Okay? So here it is. Let's highlight it. Okay? Everything that has mass and occupies space. This is the definition. Okay, and it is classified into solids, liquids, and gases. Okay, let's take first our first state, which is the solids. Okay, طيب احنا قلنا we said that in solids we said like a mobile, like an orange, like a bag, pen, pencil, all of these. How can you differentiate between each state of these 3 states? We said we have uh, solids, liquids, and gases. Physically, what is the difference between them؟ ايه اللي يخليني افرق؟ مش مجرد ان انا اشوف ده فاقول ايوه دون solid، لا دون جاز، دون liquid، لا. او انا بقى اتكلم كساينتست. طيب هنقول ايه؟ هنقول ان في الماتر بتاعتي every matter has properties، ليها خصائص. طيب البروبرتيز دي varies according to الفيزيكال ستيت. الفيزيكال ستيت اللي هي solid, liquid, gas. طيب ال properties of the matter varies according to the shape and fluidity. الشيب أو الحاجة shape هو اللي بيقول لي دي إيه. يعني أنا لما أشوف كوباية مية هبقى عارفة إن دي liquid. هشوف قلم أقول ده solid. Okay, so shape and fluidity. um, we will take this fluidity is how to flow. Okay, and then number two, the volume and compressibility. And this is how to compress. When it is compressed, how it will act. And this is diffusibility. Okay, let's take the first property with its shape and fluidity, which is the ability to flow. Okay, here's our three states, and we will see here solid. Here's, these are solids like wood, iron, anything. Here's balls. And liquid like water and oil. Gases like air and oxygen. Okay, first thing, the shape. We see here its shape. It has a shape, a definite shape, right? And its shape doesn't change. Like when I take this mobile here, the mobile, and my bag, okay? If I put the mobile like that in the bag, is it going to take the shape of the bag, or it has its definite shape? Of course, it has its definite shape. It won't fit like that, right? So the solid has a definite shape. Its shape doesn't change, okay? So solids have a fixed shape, fixed. It doesn't change, okay? So what about water or liquids as a whole? Liquids, when you put it in a cup, it takes the shape of the cup. If you put it in a bottle, it will take the shape of the bottle. So it changes its shape according to the liquid inside, according to the bottle it is in, or the cup, or whatever. So the container, it takes the shape of the container. Okay, so here it doesn't have a fixed shape. What about air? Air the same. Air takes the shape of its container, right? لما عندي a glass, an empty glass, what it will have inside it? Air. An empty bottle also has air. Okay, so air also doesn't have a fixed shape. It takes the shape of its container. So the only one who has a fixed shape is solid. Okay, so solid, they have a fixed shape. Liquids, they take the shape of the container. Gases also take the shape of the container. Okay, so in the shape, liquids and gases are the same. Okay, solids is the only one who has a fixed shape. Okay, fluidity. What is fluidity? Fluidity is the ability of the fluid to flow easily. Here, yes, highlighted. It is the ability, okay, of the fluid to flow easily. Here, I highlighted one. Okay, the ability of the fluid to flow easily. What does it mean؟ يعني ايه؟ يعني لما بمسك كوباية مية وادلقها تدلق معايا، صح؟ أي ليكويد بدلقه بيتدلق. مظبوط؟ هي دي ability to flow. اوكي، ان انا انقله من مكان لمكان. اوكي. طيب، what is fluid? Fluid is the material that have the property of fluidity. يبقى any material has the ability to flow, its name is fluids. Okay? And it takes the shape of the container it contains it. Liquids are fluids, but do liquids all have the same fluidity? يعني يا ترى water is like oil, is like honey. Do they all fluid with the same speed or the same shape? Of course not. أكيد لما معايا عسل وأجي أدلق العسل غير لما بيبقى معايا مية وأدلق المية، صح؟ أنا لو خدت معلقة عسل ومعلقة مية ألاقي المية راح واقعة بسرعة، العسل لا يفضل ينزل بالراحة بالراحة بالراحة، صح؟ طيب، يبقى ده ليه؟ ده لأن عندي حاجة اسمها viscosity. viscosity الفيسكوزيتي دي بتخلي الليكويد يبقى تقيل. يعني كل ما increase الفيسكوزيتي، اوكي، when the viscosity increases fluidity decrease. Okay, so when the viscosity increase fluidity decrease, they are reversely to each other. Okay, so when the fluid flow from one container to another, the volume of the liquid remains constant. Okay, ما بيتغيرش. Right? When I have 1 liter of milk, it will be the same if you put it in a bottle or if you put it in another container. It will be the same volume. Okay, so volume doesn't change. But the volume of the gas changes when it enters, when it flow from one container to another. Sorry. Okay. Right. Does gas has fluidity? Yes, gas has fluidity. If you have a balloon and you open it, the gas will go out from the balloon, right? This is how the gas flow. تمام؟ ما عندنا بالونة ومنفوخة وفتحناها وخرمناها، هتلاقي ايه؟ الهواء خرج كله منها. هي دي fluidity. طيب، يبقى كده الفلويدز fluids هو material that have property of fluidity. يعني liquids and gases, both of them are fluids. Why? Because they have the ability to flow. Okay? And we said that liquids differ according to their viscosity, but and gases change their volume when they change from one container to another. But liquids, their volume stays constant. بيفضل constant. Okay? Okay. Let's take another property, which is volume and compressibility. Okay? I want first to another document, okay, to make a comparison between these three states, between, okay, document, great. Okay, here it is. We have it big. Okay, when I will have here solids. Okay, solids. Okay. Liquid, uh, very thin. Liquids, and gases, okay? And here I'm gonna write the first thing, shape. So the shape in the solid, it's fixed. Here, not fixed, it takes the shape of its container. And here is the same, it is not fixed. Okay, this is number one. Number two, we said fluidity. Okay, fluidity. So solids doesn't have a fluidity, but liquids they have and gases they have. Okay, here when it flows from one container to another, not to change volume, here change in the gases, change volume, okay? And the last thing we was talking about was viscosity. Okay, and fluids doesn't have viscosity, liquids have, and gases doesn't have, okay? Here's our line, sorry for not being perfect, okay? So this is what we took till now, okay? Let's continue and see the next property of the three states. Here I have the volume and compressibility. Here in this experiment, I get 3 syringe and I put a plug here in the 3 of them, okay? And I managed to put in the syringe here sand and water, and the last one was empty because it has air. And then we will compress it, okay? هضغط على السيرنج من هنا. إيه اللي هيحصل؟ Can you say? Here in the solid, the volume will not change. But in the water, also, it doesn't compress. The volume don't change. But in the air, the volume changed and it decreases because compression happened to the air type. Why does air is the only one which is compressed? This is because of the particles of the every one of them. If we look here in the solids, if we look to its particles, okay, we will see it. Let's see, this is a solid under the microscope, okay? The particles will be like that, okay? They are near each other, okay? As you see, they are near to each other. The space between them is so small that they can't move. So moving or compressing it, it will be very hard because where the particles is going to go? If you compress it, where the particles is going to go? So here, the particles won't compress. So here, in compression, they don't compress, okay? Right, what about liquids? Here is the liquids, okay, under the microscope. And you'd find that liquids, it have a little space, okay? So it won't compress either because the space is very small. So how it is going to be compressed? Okay, so it won't compress. Okay, so it won't compress. This is also won't happen. Type. In the third state, which is the gas, we will find that the particles are so far from each other, like that, okay, here. And they can move freely, so I can compress them easily, okay? So the only one which is compressed is gases, because I can compress them because of the very big interspaces between them, okay? So that is the compression. And the last, okay, this is the compression, okay? And the last one is diffusibility. And diffusibility is the movement of the particles, okay? We said from of course, from one region to another, okay? And the diffusion occurs from the high concentration to the low concentration, okay? From the high to the low. If we put, if you get a sponge like here and we put a dye on it, dye صبغة عليها, we will find that it will spread very slowly, okay? Like, what about in water? It will spread, but in moderate way. It's not very small and it's not very not very slow and not very fast, okay? In the gases, no, the diffusion is very fast. When you put a perfume, you find it in the whole home because of the diffusion of the gas, and that's because the gas has the particles are very far from each other, and that make them spread easily, okay? So the last thing is diffusion, okay? Diffusion. And we have that in the solids they are slow, here in the liquids moderate or mild, here it is fast, okay? These are the properties of the matter, and till here we're gonna stop our lesson and see you next lesson inshallah, and thank you for your attendance.